this at the place.
Yeah, she sent me an email.
Everybody might be wondering what's going on. Miss R has told us in the maths lesson we're going to be looking at lines, and
I don't really like lines.
I'm a bit scared, to be honest. We just got a bit of protection. I mean,
I can't see any lines.
what do we?
Shall I check the email?
Hello? Oh, thank goodness it's you. So we're here, and we've got the weapons. We're just wondering when these lines are going to turn up. What? Oh! Oh, right, okay. So what do we need then? We don't need a bat or a sword. We got a ruler. Okay, yeah. Alright, bye.
Where are the
Yes,
lines?
we're idiots. Lines, not lines.
Welcome to maths. He's just going to fix his phone because...
Let's take another chip off the old pot.
So today we are looking at measuring and lines. So you are going to need a ruler. Not like that.
No, you're going to need... a ruler.
There you go. We're going to be looking at measuring today. Now it's going to be very hard with you all the way over there and us all the way over here to show you how to measure. So we're going to have a virtual ruler, bam, appear on the screen.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't see that.
Oh.
And I won't need this. And we're going to be showing you how to measure with that. Now this is a dropout lesson, so if you hear this noise, then we're going to tell you to drop out. We're going to tell year 3 and 4 to drop out first of all, and then 5 and 6, you'll do another lesson with us before we let you drop out as well. So let's get crack-a-lack-a-lack-a-lack-a-lack-a-lacking. We are first of all talking about millimeters, centimeters, and meters. Now, these can all get a little bit confusing because they used to have these little symbols that I've placed on the board. Now, millimeters, they are our smallest ones. If you were to get your ruler, you are looking, it's going to be on the board, you are looking at the tiniest little measurement there, okay? Now, a millimetre, you won't really have used that much. You'll have heard more about centimetres and metres, but millimetres are really small. In fact, there are 10 millimetres in 1 centimetre. So that's one fact you're going to want to start getting into your minds. In 1 centimetre, there are 10 millimetres. Well, what about centimetres, Mr. S?
Well, centimetres you might be a little bit more familiar with. They are obviously bigger than millimetres because there are 10 millimetres in a centimetre. And there are 100 centimetres in 1 metre. Lots of you probably have metre sticks in your classrooms. So this is a metre stick. There are 100 centimetres in a metre.
So 10 millimetres in a centimetre, 100 centimetres in a metre. And we'll stop there for today because we're not going to ask you to measure anything bigger than that because we don't know how big your houses are. Let's start first of all with this line on the board. When we're lining up our ruler, what we need to make sure is that ruler is lined up so that the start of the line that we're measuring is exactly on the 0. Now, some rulers start with the very end being 0, but most leave a little bit of a gap before the 0 begins, before that scale begins. Bless you. So make sure your line starts exactly at 0. And then it's very simple. You trace yourself along that line until the line that you're measuring stops, and then you look on the centimetre scale to see where that line appears. So this line here, we can clearly see, is 7 centimetres. Now, this ruler is not to scale, it's not actually 7 centimetres, but for our case of teaching you, it is. That one's 7 centimetres. Let's have a look at this line. Well, we're lining it up so it's at the 0.
Yeah.
And how long is it this time, Mr. S?
That one is 14 centimetres.
Double the length of the one before.
What are the chances of that?
That's how you measure it in centimetres. But let's now mix it up and go to centimetres and millimetres.
Because not all of your lines that you measure in life are going to neatly fit into centimetres.
No.
Okay? In fact,
very rarely.
Most of them won't. Okay? But because millimetres are so small, the chances are it will fit to a millimetre. So let's have a look at this line that's appeared here, and we're going to measure it just in millimetres or centimetres and millimetres?
We'll go centimetres and millimetres, and maybe we'll set them a challenge to see if they can use their fact of 10 millimetres in 1 centimetre to work out what it would be as millimetres.
So let's count along this line. So we can see on this line that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 centimetres, but it goes just a little bit past that. You actually look at the little dashes, the little millimetres, and it's gone just 3 more than that. So what we can say here is this line is 6 centimetres and 3 millimetres. And we write it like this: 6 centimetres, 3 millimetres.
Really simple. Let's have a look at one more. Here's our line. It's started on 0. And we can see it goes all the way. It doesn't quite get to 16 centimetres, so it passes 15 centimetres. So we say 15 centimetres, and now let's count our millimetres. 1, 2, 3, 4. 15 centimetres and 4 millimetres. And that's how you measure it in centimetres and millimetres. Simple as that. So year 3-4, you've got loads of lines down below that you need to go and measure. Have a go at it. If you fancy a challenge, don't just write 6 centimetres and 3 millimetres if the line is that length. See if you can figure out how many millimetres that just is. If you were just talking about millimetres, remember there are 10 millimetres in 1 centimetre.
So you can write your answers in 2 different ways. That would really impress us if you sent us a photo of that.
And also, another challenge for you, we are going to give you some measurements that we would like you to draw out. So you draw a line to an exact length and then get someone in your household to check it. And if they don't know how to check it, you can teach them how to use a ruler.
Now, if you don't have a ruler in your house, and we hope most of you do, but if you don't, we have got ways to help you, Mr. A.
Yeah, we're going to put a link down below to a website. If you type in that website on your computer or tablet, it will actually give you an exact ruler to use on your screen. Now, it won't be the most useful thing because you won't be able to sort of, take it up to a line and measure it, but you might be able to bring the line to the screen and measure it that way. Or if you've got a printer at home, you should be able to print it off as well. So hopefully that will help some of you who don't have a ruler. But we did tell you way back a month ago that you did need a ruler. So, year 3-4, dropouts. 5-6, what are we going to do that's different with you?
Oh, yeah,
simple.
5-6.
We're going from something called metric to imperial.
Oh, Imperial sounds good. It sounds like something like from Star Wars.
Sadly, it's not that cool. Sometimes you'll have noticed on your rulers that on one side it mentions centimetres and millimetres, and sometimes it measures in inches. Now, we know that your rulers at home might not measure in inches exactly, but if you want a real challenge, on the board here is how long 1 inch actually is. So it's a lot longer than 1 centimetre, so they are bigger than a centimetre. So if there are exactly 2.54 centimetres in an inch, you could, if you don't have a rule that measures in inches, do a lot of conversions today to work it out.
Now, if you are going to use conversions for this, we are going to let you use a calculator.
Yes.
Because we wouldn't expect you to do 2.54 times however many inches, blah, 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 blah. That would be quite hard. And this is not a multiplication lesson anyway. No. This is a measures lesson. So if you do want to convert using 2.54 centimetres is equal to 1 inch, by all means, use a calculator to do that. Also, if you've got, or your dad or your mum has got a tape measure at home, they nearly always have got centimetres, millimetres and inches on the other side too, so they might be pretty useful. Just be careful when you click them. I used to be terrified of clicking them back and they used to go
oh yeah, make sure you do it slowly.
Don't hurt your hands.
Mr. A cut his finger on one of those over the Easter holiday. It's healed.
That's good.
So, as we can see, we've got a ruler down here that has inches on it, and it's very similar to how we measure in centimetres. You look at the line, it starts exactly at 0. This one goes along, it's 4 inches long. We look at this line, it starts at 0, it goes along, that's 7 inches long. You've got some lines below, and what we would like you to do is measure them in inches and in centimetres and millimetres. If you don't know how to measure in centimetres and millimetres, you weren't watching during the first half of this video.
Go back.
So, that is your task for today. You're measuring in metric, which we call centimetres and millimetres and metres, and imperial, inches and feet. So, off you go, your tasks below, and please send your work to us at learninglockdown on Twitter or learninglockdown@gmail.com.
That's the best place to send them, and as early as you can to get them onto tomorrow's video.